What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm back for another review of 11 Marriage Huntsville. This is Season 6, Episode 22, and the episode is titled, Not About to Kiki and Ha Ha. And let's get right into this review. So you already know we are in the aftermath of Tisha getting drenched by her cousin with that cup of water, juice, I don't know what that was, but it completely drenched Letitia. Now, I know that a lot of people, they feel like Kiki was wrong. Kiki was dead wrong for pouring this drink on Letitia. And I agree. Was she wrong? Absolutely. However, that does not negate the fact that Letitia could have just said hi, a 2-letter word, and none of this would have happened. Also, y'all are sitting at a table right across from this lady. She's talking about y'all. Like, directly talking about y'all. Y'all could have easily said, hey, Kiki, like, why are you even bringing this up? We don't need to talk about that here. This event is about Kimmy and her battling, or should I say winning her battle against cancer. Like, that's not what we're here to do. Like, what's annoying me is the fact that I understand everybody feels like Kiki was wrong, but let's not act like Letitia and Marceau did not play a part in this. They're not that innocent. Letitia could have easily just said, hey, and then she could have walked away. But no, when her cousin came by, she completely just dipped out on her, literally, right in front of her. Who does that? Then for you to come back to the table and not be like, oh, hey, girl, I just want to step away for a minute. She didn't do that. You hear this girl talking about y'all. Y'all try to, I guess, ignore her. But it's all of this is giving childish on everybody's part. So now we have the men, they're all rowdy because what's his name, Marceau, in defense of his wife, he decides to say that, Kiki needs to be drug tested. He's running and shuffling his feet away from Kiki's husband because it's clear that he's scared of him. And next thing you know, Kiki and her husband, they're getting put out of the place. Now, I can't lie, I did giggle when Mel was like, I'm sorry that happened at your house, Maurice, but this is why I don't let nobody come to my house like that. I said, first of all, Mel, these people ain't your friends, so we automatically know they ain't coming to your house. You don't like these people like that? Now, one thing that I need for Maurice and Kimmy to do is shut up. Straight up, I want them to shut up. They always have commentary on things that they were not privy to. They were not there when the things happened, but they be having so much mouth. Like in a confessional, Maurice is like, he should have pulled his wife to the side, blah, blah. First of all, be for real right now. When walked over there, Marceau, as well as Letitia, was on a total different energy than what they gave his wife. So, miss me with that, because at the end of the day, Letitia, you don't think it's crazy that you said hello to her husband, but not to her? Like, you literally gave this man a hug, act like you was so excited to see him, but then when your own cousin walk in the door, you ignore her? That's weirdo behavior. And also, Maurice, at what point was this man supposed to go check his wife? Because he wasn't even over there anymore. Okay? He went and moved around to go talk to somebody else. He wasn't keeping tabs on his wife the whole time. So, whatever. Now we see Kiki is walking on out or whatever. Mel and Stormy, they come out as well. Honestly, I just want Mel and Stormy to have a conversation, because I really feel like they will be on the same page about a lot of this stuff that is happening this current season. But I digress. So they go out there and Mel is trying to figure out what is going on. Like, why did you do that to Tisha? Do you feel like it was necessary? Did she put her hands on you or something? How did we get to this point? And according to Kiki, this was just a build-up, okay? She just basically had one thing done to her too many times, and she was over it. Okay, fine. That's what she gonna say. Now, we get Tisha's version of the story, okay? Because she went to go talk to Kimmy. Now, first of all, I gotta call out Tisha. Tisha, you not starting from the beginning of this. Because you just told Kimmy, oh, I was just sitting there and she wanted my attention. So she started talking to Stormy all loud about the situation with Marceau. I asked her, back it up a little bit. You need to say, oh, when Kiki came in, I spoke to her husband, but I absolutely did not speak to her, and I dipped right in front of her. Now here comes Marceau, because he feels like, the whole thing happened because Tisha, you were ignoring her because she just wants to talk about all this drama, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I don't even think Kiki would have been on that. I don't. I don't think that Kiki would have been on that. Oh, let me go ahead and air out Marceau, especially considering he's sitting right here. I don't think so. I think she may have still told her cousin, like, hey, you didn't show up, and I still have some information that I need to tell you. But I honestly don't think that she would have aired Marceau out like this. If Letitia would have just been like, oh, hey, Kiki. That's all she had to do. And here goes Kimmy. Again, another person who keeps getting involved in situations and not knowing what's going on. Because she's like, I don't understand why Kiki feels like she needs to be involved in the drama that's happening between Marceau and Letitia. She's not trying to be involved. If someone is bringing her some information, y'all already know it would look crazy if she did not tell Tisha. Tisha would be feeling away like, you knew this information, you never told me. So she decided to do what? Tell Letitia. But Letitia don't even want to hear the information. Like, I hate the fact that they really try to set it up like Kiki came through on some rah-rah type mess, when really she was just meeting Letitia's energy. And since Letitia wanted to play let's ignore somebody, okay, fine. I'm going to talk about you like you ain't here. And honestly, I hate the way that they are sitting up in this kitchen. You have all the Scots around. And the way Letitia is describing how she said, excuse me, and walked away from from Kiki. She's making it seem as if it was a nice gesture and, what she did was okay. No. Your cousin literally walked up to you and was like, hey, girl, your whole demeanor changed. You didn't add that part. You didn't say that you stormed off like a child. And then when you came back to the table, you still wanted to play the ignore game. So now we flipping this, okay? Because Marceau is like, the reason why the energy was like that is because, no one wants to listen to her lies. First of all, she didn't start saying anything until after she got ignored. Like, until Letitia ignored her, like I said, I don't feel like she was going to be on that type of drama. I really don't. Alright, so we jump back over to, what's her name? Kiki. She's explaining how she's done with them. She's done with the whole situation. Mel in her confessional, she feels like there has to be more to the story because something has to be missing. So we then see Mel basically check on Tisha. She checks on Marceau to see how they doing after the whole fiasco or whatever. And I was trying to figure out, when Mel walked over there, she didn't have no food in her hand or whatever when she went to go talk to Marceau. But when Stormy walks up, did she put down a plate for Mel? Because next scene we get, everybody sitting around eating, and I'm so confused. It's like, are y'all trying to be friends on the low? What's going on here? The only thing I really got out of that scene was the fact that Letitia, as well as her husband, believe that Kiki is a liar, and they are standing on that. Next thing you know, Tiffany arrives with baby Ace. Where is her man at? He's on the road with the baseball team. So Jalen, he actually brings the Jeep over, and Kimmy automatically knows that that is her car because that's the one that she's been wanting for forever, and she's hype about it. Now, one thing that I just wanted to point out was the fact that Kimmy is super duper hype. Her best friend is there. She hyped that she got this Jeep. I guess her friend has a Jeep as well. And the only person who was hyping her up was Mel. Why was Mel the only one hype about Kimmy getting this car? I was kind of giving a side eye to that. Because I'm like, where's Stormy? Where's Letitia? Where's anybody else? You know what I'm saying? You have Mel yelling for her to act bad. I said, please no. Listen, that song came and went, and we're going to leave that where it's at. Kimmy, she decides to go ahead and take the car on a little test drive. And then we come back to the mess because we actually see that Letitia's cousin, she arrives and Tisha's like, yeah, Kiki was here, but she threw a drink on me and Kiki was calling around trying to get information on me and Marceau and all of this. And I'm like, well, that sure ain't the story that your cousin just told. She said that the people came to her with the drama, but according to you, the story is a little different. Now, what annoyed me in this moment is that Tiffany decided to jump in family business because at this point, the conversation is between two cousins, and here she go chiming in like, well, it's worse when you're dealing with somebody who has nothing to lose. Ma'am, I'm gonna need for you to take you and that baby back to your house because you did not need to comment on anything that's going on over here. First of all, I'm giving you a side eye because you decided to stroll through to this party with no type of baby bag. Where is your diaper bag? All it was you and the baby. Who does that? But back to Tisha, because she is just going off about how Kiki has done her wrong. Because she's going on and on about how Kiki wanted to have a conversation face to face with her. She's like, why? Because we're already talking on the phone. And then here goes Marceau chiming in about how, I guess whoever the guy was, who was some type of involved, or he was dating one of the girls that Marceau was supposedly hooking up with. He had already reached out to Letitia. All of this is foolishness, and I don't need commentary from Tiffany. Because we already know that she does not like Kiki at all. Now, speaking of Kiki, I feel like the cousin Courtney, she seems to have a liking or at least be on the side of Kiki. The reason why I'm saying that is because the facial expressions that she's giving, it's saying, I'm really on Kiki's side, but I want to hear what y'all talking about. You know what I'm saying? Just to see where y'all heads is. Because you have Letitia and Marceau over here going off about how Kiki is a liar. Everybody knows that she tells lies. Then they start bringing up Crime Stoppers. And I'm just like, okay, but one thing has nothing to do with the other. You need to be saying, hey, the rumors that she's supposedly hearing are not true. We ain't heard y'all say that not a one time. So Mel, she ends up asking, like, why did Marceau almost fight Kiki's husband? And he just casually, nonchalantly was like, yeah, because I said that, his wife was a dopehead. So now everybody at the table is shocked that this came out of this man's mouth. I don't know why, because Marceau has been talking reckless for years now. Now, speaking of him speaking recklessly, he goes on to say that what would make somebody throw a drink? Oh, right, it was the drugs. The drugs are what made her, throw a drink. I said, Marceau, are you serious right now? Because now are you going to tell me all the other reality show girls are on drugs? No, that's not how this works. Like, I can't lie. It is very disgusting to watch Marceau, as well as his wife Tisha, completely flip this whole situation around to be not about the fact that he could have possibly cheated on her, but that Kiki is on drugs, so that's why she's reacting the way she is. Now, do I think that Kiki is on drugs? I actually don't, y'all. I don't. Because I feel like her behavior would be far more different. She would not be in control of a lot of things if she was high all the time. You know what I'm saying? Also, the people around her for sure probably will recognize when she's high at this point. Now, one thing that I also wanted to point out, because I know that people always say that, oh, well, what's going on with Kiki? Why is she always sweating like that? Is it because of, the drugs? Nope. Y'all know what I think? What's going on with Kiki and her body and how she don't know what's going on. She having aches, she having pains, she's hot, she's all this stuff. I think that she's menopausal. I absolutely think that Kiki is going through menopause right now. But because that's not something that we admit, especially not on reality TV, but I think that is what's happening right now. I'm going to be completely honest. I think that she probably have night sweats. Because every time you see Kiki, she look kind of like sweaty, you know what I'm saying? And I honestly don't think that it is from drugs. I think that it is from menopause. Like, I think baby girl's out here having hot flashes and she don't know what's going on. Now, back to the situation at hand. Marcel is an idiot because he talking about I just wanted to make mad because when the women get into it and then the men have to get involved, then the men have to fight for the women. Sir, what are you talking about? Like, you're sitting up here basically saying that you threw a dig at Kiki and you basically told it in front of her husband's face just because? That's stupid. And another thing that's stupid is the fact that they actually let Stormy play in their face all day. According to Stormy, Marcel, you was going to get your ass beat, okay? Her husband was going to put hands on you, and that was going to be that. And you just keep testing her. And then some type of way, we get back to talking about the Espo and how Stormy called Marcel out of his name. I don't want to hear anything about the Espo or anything that went down at that time. I really don't. Now, as far as Stormy calling Marcel out of his name, sir, I'm kind of with Stormy. Why was your response that you were the biggest? If anything, you could have just said, hey, Stormy, like, I find it to be very offensive. Don't call me out of my name. Like, be for real right now. So then, another thing that bothered me is Maurice. Maurice, he is always trying to come save his brother. Like, oh, well, if you're calling a man out of his name, then you're trying to trigger him. Shut up, Maurice. Nobody asked you anything. So you need to just go ahead and sit yourself at the other end of the table and not jump in this conversation. Martell, he ends up chiming in and he's like, well, I have a problem with the fact that, a wife would let her friend call her husband out his name. Now, here's my thing. I can understand that because at the end of the day, Stormy is Tisha's friend. But Tisha was on mute. Tisha did not say a word. And I'm just like, yeah, because you probably feel that way about your own husband. That's why you didn't correct your friend. Now, at this point, Mel, she decides to dip on out of there. Kimmy, she goes on to ask the cousin Courtney if Kiki may still need some help because when she hugged her, she had tremors. Girl, what? Tremors? Okay, Kimmy. So now you want to feed into the idea that this woman is automatically on drugs. Okay, cool. So Courtney, she says that she has not experienced the violence of Kiki. However, she does have sweats or whatever, which I still say is a part of menopause. Marceau, he said something along the lines of like, yeah, the makeup didn't give it away. Basically saying that her makeup was looking crazy because she's on drugs. And I'm like, wait, what was wrong with Kiki's makeup? Like, yeah, it wasn't professionally done, but there was nothing wrong with her makeup. Now you just taking digs. So Courtney is like, this is not a joking matter. It's very serious. If she does have a drug issue, pull her to the side. Like, why would you rather try to embarrass her? Girl, why she say that? Because now you have Marceau who is on his little pedestal yelling about how, no, she threw the drink because she's on drugs. Again, do we have any proof that Kiki is on drugs? I don't think that we do just yet. Now, Marceau, he decides to go on and on about how Kiki, she's been on drugs. He used to have to go pick her up off the streets. Now, y'all, I'm not trying to be rude, but Marceau was selling that story like Kiki was strung out on crack. You would have thought that Kiki was on heroin. You would have thought Kiki was really out here strung out somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, he made it seem like she was Wanda off Holiday Heart. I'm like, sir, I thought, okay, never mind. I'm not even about to go there. I can't lie. I understand that it's frustrating to deal with a person who is going through drugs. But my thing is, all of this is all accusations. Y'all have no proof. Y'all have not seen her with any drugs. She hasn't admitted to doing any drugs. So all of this is just accusations. Now, Stormy, she's not feeling this in the moment because nobody knows for sure if Kiki is back on drugs or not. And Marceau is like, well, have you ever seen anybody on drugs? And she's like, yeah, my best friend, actually. So Marceau, he tries to do what he always does. And he tries to drill her with these questions. And Stormy, she ends up walking away because she's overwhelmed. She's crying. Like, this conversation is hitting way too close to home for her. Now, here's my thing, y'all. Why is it that only one person went to go check on Stormy? And that was the cousin Courtney. She don't even know Stormy. Where was Tiffany, Nell, Tisha? Hell, you could hear Kimmy cackling in the background. But I'm like, but this girl went and walked away, and you can clearly see that she got tears in her eyes, and nobody decided to go check on her? What kind of friendship is that? So we do see Martell and Martell and Marceau. They go over there to check on her. Marceau, he does end up apologizing. And Stormy, she's ready to go. So she ends up leaving with Courtney, her husband, because there's a different Courtney around. And then we come back to Marceau, still complaining about Kiki. He's talking to her cousin Courtney, and he's like, Kiki has stabbed us in the back, and now Tisha want to pipe up that she's officially done with Kiki. I'm like, okay, fine. That's absolutely fine. I don't need to see no more scenes where y'all talk about Kiki. And Kiki, I don't need to see no more scenes with you talking about Marceau and Tisha. Now, y'all, let's go ahead and jump on over to Martell. Because he's working out. This is a whole new day. He's working out. He's joined by Courtney and Chris. Now, Martell made it seem like he was about to be training Courtney so that way he can lose some weight. It was a whole other man training him. I said, Martell, why do you always make it seem like you doing so much, but you be doing so little? Nonetheless, they update Courtney on the mess that happened at the barbecue. Courtney still ain't feeling Marceau or his shenanigans. Martell still has not moved out that house. And some type of way, Chris and Courtney, they may be related. Let's move on. So, Kiki, she's at her storage unit, right? Now, her husband and her, they're planning on moving. Now, the reason why they're moving is because their oldest son, he plays, I don't even know what type of sport, but I know he plays a sport, and he's really good at it. So they want to give him the best opportunity to play, show off his skills, you know what I'm saying? And that, unfortunately, is determined by what high school this kid goes to. The problem with that is that now you're uprooting not only that one kid, but the other two children that you have. So you can already tell that Kiki, she's not really feeling this idea, but she's going along with it. So Mel ends up calling Kiki, and next thing you know, she pulls up on her. So they talk about the barbecue and how, he basically got out of character. That's not who he really is. Now, Mel, she's like, well, the Scotts, they were saying how they really like and how, he's a really cool guy. But he's like, no, they don't like me. Tisha definitely don't like me. And he even called Tisha phony. I said, oh, okay. Clearly, he don't like her. And she don't like him. And he's not about to front on this show and make it seem like she do. So Mel, she is honestly trying to give a honest perspective of what she think happened when it came to Marceau jumping in and then getting involved. And he feels offended that Marceau decided to yell out, to drug test Kiki. And also on top of that, this is the second time that Marceau has disrespected his wife in his presence. So now he really got an issue with Marceau. So Kiki, on the other hand, she knows that she took things too far when it comes to her throwing the drink on Letitia. And Mel, she tells them how, well, listen, I did stay longer, and they were joking about your drug problem. And Mel, she's like, listen, I think that to clear all this up, you should go ahead and take a drug test. Don't worry, I brought one with me. I said, Melody, why did you bring the drug test with you? I'm sorry, but that is so funny to me. It's not funny, but it's just that's just not something people regularly have just in their back pocket. People can offer a piece of gum, not a drug test. But nonetheless, we actually end this episode on a to be continued because that's where we left off. Y'all, let me know what y'all thought about this episode, because I feel like there was a lot of chitter chatter about Kiki and her drug problem, and we still don't even know if she's actually on drugs again. But y'all, like I said, let me know what y'all thought about it. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.